Thank you, Marv. One of the people that they visit had to go to the hospital for a short stay. So our RSVP Yana visitors followed her to the hospital. Every year we start off primarily by talking about our budget. So we're going to start off by doing the same thing. Our budget increased to approximately 58.5, which is the current 2018-19 budget. Our expenses went up not quite $2.5 million, with about 10% of that increase for ongoing employment retirement obligations. One of the things that I'm real proud to say is that about $11 million was used for capital improvements. So those are streets, curbs, water, sewer upgrading, and things like that. A lot of it you may not see, certainly roads you will, but it is a wonderful tribute that we are able to continue to make Laverne the best it can be. Something that has come to our attention lately, and that is that our property tax assessed value for the city of Laverne was the third fastest growing, or the third highest growing, in 2018 in all of LA County. And you might say, wow. And one of the reasons is Gilead Pharmaceuticals. And I would like to introduce a friend of mine who is the vice president of Gilead to please stand and be recognized. And thank you, Ed. And the nice thing is he lives in Laverne, so all he has to do is get his car pointed in the downward direction, and he gets to work pretty easy. In the early 80s, the city council mandated that we have a minimum reserve of 15%. And the city council is committed to that, and we have a minimum of 15% at this time. Before I go any further, I would like to recognize somebody that I think, Christian, don't go away. Christian. This lunch today and the food is prepared by a trained French chef, Christian, and I would like to say thank you for a wonderful meal. This is the best food for a retirement community there is. And if you ever want lamb chops, invite him to your house. In early 2018, we had a situation that we needed to address. We had over $50 million in unfunded liability in retirements. And what are we going to do? And there was two options in that, because this was going to grow. The California PERS, which is the California Public Employees Retirement System, had a plan for all the cities and agencies in the state of California to pay that off. The problem is it was a high interest rate adjustable loan, and it was front loaded. So our obligation in the next 6 to 7 years was going to be over $10 million per year to pay off this unfunded liability, which we could not afford. There was no way that we had future revenue coming in to support that kind of a payment for the retirement unfunded liability. So we did two things. We investigated doing a pension obligation bond, which we ended up doing, and that eliminated the unfunded liability. So what we did was, instead of that 7 to 8% high interest rate fluctuating interest, we did a straight fixed rate at a lower rate, because normally a fixed rate is underneath a fixed rate if you're buying a house. This was the opposite. Laverne has always been a conservative community in our spending. We got a AA rated bond at below the interest rate that we thought we were going to get. We were going to get somewhere in the 4.5 range. We got under 4.25. We could take the 30-year and we moved it to to under 27 years. So that eliminated the unfunded liability. Now, how can we pay for that? And the sustainability plan started looking at ways. Everybody in our department said, we can eliminate this, we can eliminate it. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ideas, and we started prioritizing throughout the different departments, and we started looking at ways that we could fund that $3 million additional money on a yearly basis. So my hat's off to the city. It's a long process, but I think we're on our way. So thank you for everybody for that. We had something happen in 2018 that had never happened again. We had 50,000 people come through Laverne. Now we only have 32,000 that live here. So in one day, an additional 50,000 people came down Bonita Avenue. They were walking, they were biking, they were on skateboards, and they were happy. The 4 communities that were involved with San Dimas, Laverne, Pomona, and Claremont, and in my opinion, Laverne showed the best. I know that we have the mayor for the city of Claremont. He happens to be a friend of mine, so we'll fight this out later. But Laverne really, it was right downtown at D and Bonita. Excuse me, all the businesses could participate. We had rest stops. We had all kinds of things that were great. Which kind of brings us to the next topic of how this kind of works. Ciclavia is done, I think it's in South America, every single week they shut the streets and let people ride their bikes. Well, we're not going to do that, but how are we going to incorporate this philosophy in our community and throughout Southern California? And so we are doing an active transportation element in our new general plan, and we're going to talk about the general plan a little bit later. But we're doing all kinds of things on other than car transportation. That's walking, bicycling, and all types of things. Our newest council member and our outgoing mayor pro tem is an avid bike rider. He wants Emma, his daughter, to be able to go from his house to school and ride a bike like he and I did when we were growing up. That's our goal. So this is going to create a plan all around Laverne, and one of the things is how are we going to address these needs? I mean, is there one person that can come up with all the necessary needs that we have in this active transportation? So we are going to form a committee. It's the Active Transportation Advisory Committee. 5 board members or 5 executive members on this, and we expect many others in the community to come forward and be able to offer expertise advice. So as we make plans to redo streets, put new streets in and so forth, how does this active transportation look in the new streets and so forth as we go forward? And this is going to be done to create that active transportation. We expect to have the new advisory committee up and running at late summer, September at the latest. As I've said many times, and you've probably heard me before, we love to use other people's money. And we have a grant for $1.5 million for completing, I think, the orange we're gonna redo into bike friendly areas so that and we want to be able to connect everything in Laverne and going through Laverne. So Claremont and Pomona and Laverne and San Dimas, we're all connected. One of the things that we have worked really hard on is getting information out to the public. We have got Council Corner, where when we have an event, like we had it at Ciclavia, we had it at the downtown car show the day before Easter. We set up a pop-up, and the city council and staff are there to answer questions of people and to see if we can't get them more engaged, and if they have questions, see if we can get them answers. Another thing we've started is a new video from CGI. This is a company that has promoted about 3,000 communities like ours to getting the word out in social media, doing videos and so forth, so that businesses can be promoted. It's really hard sometimes for smaller businesses to get really ramped up in social media because they do what they do best. They don't do social media so best. So this is a way to get them to have the opportunity for the social media aspect of advertising in the community. So we're working real hard with CGI. Other videos that we're doing, I'm going to start off with some other things we're doing. We have started videos, as an example. We've got some on streets. We've got, or not streets, but water. How do we get water? How is it processed? How is it treated in Laverne? Our sewer, how is that done in Laverne? We have a video out on the Liberty Bell at City Hall. Did you know that the Liberty Bell at City Hall, if you even know there's a Liberty Bell there, which you might go by and miss it, that is one of two in the state of California. They were cast on the bicentennial of this country by the same company who did the original Liberty Bell in England in the 1750s. We have one of two in California, and we're very proud to have that. So go up, there's some information inside, but those are videos that we're talking on. There's a video on Veterans Memorial to find out more information about that. One of the things that we are very concerned about in a committee that I chair, which is Youth and Family Action Committee, and this committee is set up to help kids and create programs for our kids, especially those at risk. And something that has come, and the police are involved, heavily involved with this committee, as the school board is, Tri-City Mental Health, all the agencies around and so forth are working with us to make this community the best it can be with kids. But vaping has become an epidemic. And I don't know if anybody read yesterday, in yesterday morning's Times, but the chief of the FDA is considering a ban on these vaping instruments that people use. They're getting them either from older family members or they're getting them online. You can have a pen that looks like a vaping machine. You can have your car keys that lock and unlock your doors. You can have one that looks just like this. And it's becoming an epidemic. And in our schools and all of our schools, this is happening. And at this time, we're going to queue up a video. We have our principal, Ken Ritchie, from Bonita High School here. Nice to see you, Kenny. And so, Romer, if we can get that started.
Well, my name is Kenny Ritchie. I'm the principal here at Bonita High School, and I'm here to talk to you about what Scott Gottlieb, the Food and Drug Administration Commissioner, has labeled an epidemic, and that is the use of vape at middle and high school kids. It's a huge concern for us here at Bonita High School. We need to educate the parents and the students as to they're not just inhaling water vapor. It does contain nicotine, high levels of it.
The more traditional and more well-known toxins or issues of concern with traditional smoking are removed from the vaporizing method. There are now new problems that they're having to deal with. They don't have long-term results as of yet, so these kids that are smoking it, or even the adults, are in a sense a guinea pig to the vaporizing manufacturers.
Unfortunately, we have many kids who are using it. They use it before school, after school, sometimes even during school, and it's an unfortunate thing, and we are taking steps to be proactive to help these students not to do it. We go into all of our classes and talk to them about the effects of vape. Students get addicted on this, and it leads to other things. And so with 1 in 5 high school students in the country doing vape, it is a serious concern for us here.
You start off low, you get them addicted, and by the time they realize that they're addicted, they're already up to 55 milligrams or higher, causing long-term health effects on the child their brain development, their physical development, as well as physical symptomologies of withdrawals such as headaches, anxiety, even depression.
I would say that vape is an epidemic. It's something that is growing so fast. In 2017, 2018, there were 1.5 million kids who had tried vape. Last year, it would jump to 3.6 million. It's a tremendous jump, and kids are trying it, and it truly is a gateway to other things. And so if we can get education out to the parents, to the students, and let them know this is not going to lead you into the right path. It's going to lead you into a path where peer pressure, sickness, addiction, we do not want that to happen. Focus your time on academics, athletics, the arts, activities, get involved in your school in other ways.
Thank you, Romer. The Youth and Family Action Committee is putting these out through Proud Digital Media. So this has been released. All you have to do is go to, I think it's Laverne Proud, or Marco, is that Laverne Proud? And it's on Facebook. You can see this stuff, share it with your family, share it with your kids. I talked about tobacco. This is going much more serious than tobacco. This is going into marijuana. They get it into a liquid form. They use wax, and it causes a bubbling effect in your lungs that is it'll stay there for the rest of your life. So this is a very serious issue in our community. The next thing we're doing for exposing some of the things that we're doing is, after our beginning of our next fiscal year, which is July 1, we will start webcasting our city council meetings. Probably won't start till August, but at 6:30 on Mondays and Wednesday evenings, if you have nothing to do, you can sit back on your couch, kick your feet up, and watch a city council meeting. Probably about 8.5 years ago, Charlie Rosales, who is our mayor pro tem, and myself, and two members of our staff, our city manager and our community development director, sat down and we said, what can we do to make Laverne not the best kept secret around? Because we were in a recession. And when you keep your community in the dark, people don't know to come to your town to do business. So we started this committee in changing the atmosphere of how we are looked at. There was a lot of things done with breakfast with brokers, centers and so forth. And I will tell you that here we are about 8 years later, that I'm pretty excited about some things that are now happening and have been happening. In 2018, 20 new businesses opened in the city of Laverne. I think the one that I'm most proud of, and they're one of the sponsors of today's event, is Pomona Valley Hospital Health Center. I'm on the foundation for the hospital. I have been for years. I think they too are one of the best kept secrets, but it's a great hospital, and they are putting satellite hospitals around, and we have one here in Laverne. They have 5 family doctors, and the director of that is with us today, Michael. They have imaging, so if you need an MRI, if you need anything that the hospital has, that place has it, just less of them. So anything that's CAT scan, x-rays, MRIs, all that is all done at that hospital. They also have emergency or urgent care. If you're having a heart attack, call 911. They'll get you to the hospital. But if it's not that, you can go up to urgent care here. And the last thing, if you have physical fitness needs, they have a physical fitness area that includes a swimming pool. So you can sit there and be on the machine, look out into the parking lot and watch your friends drive by, and watch the people coming and going for Panera Bread, It's a great place, and there are people there, professionals there, to help you get to be the best that you can get. Other businesses that were started, Shota Sushi, which when we did the ribbon cutting, I've never seen a spread like they did. I mean, it is amazing. Golden Peach Cafe right across the street, that's on Foothill. Flying Rice, New China Mongolian Barbecue, Flame Broiler, Firehouse Subs, and Broken Yoke are all restaurants that opened in 2018. We also had a Laverne Physical Therapy, which is on the west side of town. On Wheeler, there was a preschool that closed. There's been a new preschool that's open, Bright Beginnings. So we are having lots and lots of new businesses open in our community. And something that I'm very, very proud of, and something that I have really, really pushed, because I spent 10 years in a restaurant business, and I know that if you have good restaurants in your community, your people will be happy. And I got tired of going to Coreystown and eating, and now I see other people from Claremont coming to Laverne and saying it's okay to eat in Laverne, because now we have 98 restaurants in our community. So we're very proud of that. And growing. So we're very excited about that. One of the things that we are doing that we've talked about is how can we as a community help businesses be the best they can be, and how can we help create new businesses? I know when Gilead came to us and said, we want to be in your community, our response was, how can we make you the best you can be? Not how can we benefit from it. If we can help our businesses be the best that they can be, we benefit. All of us benefits, including the city and the staff. So some new things that we've done is job creation for affordable income. And this is a federal type of a program, but $25,000 per person for 1 year can be used for a new business or a business that wants to expand and grow. This increases sales tax in our city, and it gets to pay for our services, because our services are paid from property tax, sales tax, our utility user tax, in lieu tax, and some other ones. So we are always looking for ways that we can increase our revenue, but if we can create businesses to do that, that make them, that are happy, we benefit. It also expands with other businesses. Now, how do we recruit new businesses? One of the ways is, can we be a partner with you? Can we help get you started? Over 100 times in Laverne, somebody has come to us and said, can you help me get started? And the answer is, if it benefits the city, we want to help benefit you. And so we've done this over 100 times. We did it downtown, we've done it on Foothill Boulevard, and we will continue to do it. We had an exciting event last year in September. We had a very first event of Tap, Laverne on Tap. That was the name of the event. A beer walk. We've had a wine walk for 6 or 7 years, and we've always sold out early, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of time. No more tickets are sold. We had a meeting less than two days before this event was going to start. Of the 800 tickets that we had, less than 350 had sold. And somebody said, yeah, but people that come for beer walks, they come and buy tickets late. So less than 48 hours later, we sold 800 tickets. That was a fun night. My business got to help pour. It was fun. The people came in. They were great. A little different looking than the wine walk people, but fun people, and it was great to be a part of. We have a new program in Laverne. I think you've seen it before, but it's been resurrected. And it's banners on poles, and it's through the Chamber of Commerce, and it is to promote Shop Laverne. So we would really encourage you to shop Laverne in any case that you can. I know Gaynell and I are always looking for ways that we can keep our dollars local. In public safety, we have we have to change our ways, and I'm going to tell you how to do that in a minute. But one of the things that the police department has come up with is our 9 o'clock routine. Now, how many people used to, when you got ready to go to bed, you'd turn all your lights off inside, but you'd also turn all your lights off outside? Well, you don't do that anymore. You lock your car. You make sure you can't see anything in your car. You leave your light on the front door. So make sure that you leave your light on so that somebody says, oh, I shouldn't go there at night. And that's what you want. In 2018, we spent $2 million on new equipment. An expensive but needed radio system was replaced. Motorola was no longer updating or even maintaining our system, but the new system not only is a better system, but it also connects with other agencies, so it makes us that much better. We have 2 new ambulances. One has just been ordered and will come soon. The other is already here and in use. And something that we're working on now, it's not out yet, but we hope it'll be soon, is a drone. And, you know, a lot of people have drones for fun, but this is a drone to be used for situations where it would be easier to move a camera around and see what the situation is instead of sending our officers in. So once we have the officers, once we have the information from the drone, then we can better make decisions on how to do that. We have 7 new patrol cars. I think if you've looked, there's a new type of vehicle. The old sedans are being replaced with the Ford Explorers. So wonderful cars. In fact, our RSVP that was talked about earlier, we have 3 vehicles for RSVP so that they can go around and do the job that they do. And then for additional protective equipment. In 2011, AB 109, which is Assembly Bill 109, was passed by our state assembly. And in it, it released 45,000 felons from jail, from prison, out into the community. In 2014, Proposition 47 passed. And the name of that was the Safe Neighborhood and Schools Act. It put another tens of thousands of prisoners in state prison on our streets. And then finally in 2016, Prop 57 passed by a wider amount, and that was called the Public Safety and Rehabilitation Act. Now we have over 100,000 criminals on our streets doing things that they know how to do. So how can we as a community be as safe as we can be? And the added burden is not on the police department. The added burden is on us. We need to be diligent in what we see and what we hear. We have started a new program called Verne Cop Talk that takes this out in the community, where our police get to talk to our residents about the new safe. What does it look like? How can you act? And I will tell everyone here, if you see anything, if you hesitate dialing 911, you're making the wrong decision. Because I had a conversation earlier with our Lieutenant Sam Gonzalez about this program and about what's trying to be accomplished. And he said, we all need to work together. We are a better community if all of us work together. See something, say something, dial 911. If in doubt, call us out, dial 911. Don't hesitate, please. Because in these talks, what people are saying is, you know what, I thought I should call, but I just didn't want to bother the police. Sam said, I would rather answer 10 innocent calls than answer 1 burglary. So we need to do what we can do ourselves to help them be the best that they can be. The POA is, which is a Police Officers Association, is holding their first golf tournament coming up. We're going to wait till the rain stops. so you can actually get on a golf course. But they're going to hold their first golf course. They are very involved in our Youth and Family Action Committee. And Youth and Family Action is going to be the recipient of the proceeds of this event. The school resource officer, Frankie Gambera, was the person up there that you saw with our principal, Ken Ritchie, at Bonita High School. When you talk to him and he puts these words out like they're common about what these kids are doing to themselves, it's a shame. But he is very qualified to help our kids. Our kids love him at Bonita High School. When you go up D Street and you see a police car parked in front of the high school, it's all good. It's all good. It's a relationship. How can we help our students be better? So we all have to work together on that. We're going to move in a little bit different direction, and that is the Gold Line. A few months ago, they went out to bid, and they projected about the same cost as the last Pasadena to Azusa cost, and the bids came in $570 million higher. So they said, ooh, what are we going to do? Well, what they did was, instead of saying no to the whole thing, they say, we will take the money that we have and we will build it that far, which came to Laverne. And we were very thankful. And then they said, oh, and by the way, we're going to get it to you 2 years sooner. That's good. It is now changed where the terminus will be Pomona. So instead of 2024, it's going to end at Pomona, and it's going to be 2025. So, and the construction is going to start next year. So look for that. Not sure how it's going to look when they start it, but 5 years after they start, we'll be riding the train. If they get the funding in the next 2 years, then Claremont and Claremont and Montclair will be added, and I know that Claremont is certainly pushing for that, as we are in our capacity as well. We need this all the way to Montclair, and we want it to Montclair. One of the areas when we talk about the Gold Line is, what about the development around it? And I think what's on the screen is, yep, it's a first development on First Street. If you want to go down and see what First Street is going to look like, go down on First Street and G. First Street has always been a poorly maintained street. Everything is hodgepodge. It hasn't changed in 60 years. It's changing now, and you should see what it looks like. Underground parking. We've never had anything like that in Laverne. 32 very upgraded, very nice apartments are going to be there with no parking on the street. It's all going to be underground. The Fairplex has been a partner, along with the university, on this project 15 years ago coming forward. They have about 11 and a half acres, and maybe a little more with the acquisition of the corner, which would be the southwest corner of Arrow and White. And we are hoping that with this mixed-use project, which it won't look like that, that's an artist rendering from the specific plan, we will be getting a 5 to 6 story boutique hotel. That is our goal. That's what we're pushing for. We don't have a hotel in Laverne, and Fairplex would like it too. So we're hoping they will buy the property, and through their development, we'll be able to create another project that will be added to the Gold Line development. So not only will we be getting the Gold Line, but we're going to be getting lots of new residents. We're getting lots of new businesses, new restaurants, new entertainment. So it's going to be fun to be a part of this development. Remember, first mile, last mile is their trigger. So a lot of people will be living down there and won't even own a car. And they'll stay there or ride the train someplace else, or Lyft or Uber. We are very close to doing something that is unprecedented. The EIFD, which is Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District, is new to the state. The city of Laverne has been working on this for approximately 3.5 years and is the third city in the state to have it passed. Coming up, we're going to be partnering, and it hopefully will happen in about a month, that we will be partnering with the county, and we will get their help. And that will be the first partnership between a city and a county in the EIFD in the entire state of California. And what does that mean? We are looking to do $33 million worth of projects to get our properties construction ready. That means sewers in the streets, electric in the streets, water in the streets, everything in the streets for these projects to go. So the developers are going to look at this and say, whoa, Laverne's serious. We need to get over there and build something really fast and really cool. That's what we want. So how does that work? When the developers buy the property, they have a certain amount of increase from the old property taxes to the new property taxes. That increment property tax is used to pay that money off. So nobody in this room pays a dime. That's the good thing. And that's about 17, 18 cents on every dollar that we receive. If the county is involved in it, we get 24 cents. So if you look at the combination, we'll be able to do a lot more, a lot quicker, which is very exciting. Other development, the University of Laverne is doing a master plan on their Campus West facility. They have divided their campus or added to their campus. There's the main campus, and then they have, if you go down Wheeler, south of Arrow, on the right-hand side is new activity, softball, baseball fields, all-purpose field. They've also got a lot of other land, so they're looking at developing that in the future, and that's going to be, again, added revenue for our city, and we're excited about that. They're also the project on the corner of B Street and B and Bonita, which is the brick building that was there, is Woody Hall. Is that Mira? Is that no? Brand Hall. Thank you, Julie. Brand Hall is being reconfigured. They have a nice gift, and it's going to be called the Ludwig Health and Wellness Facility, and that's going to be done prior to school starting at the end of summer. Also, on the corner of C and Bonita, there was a residence hall that actually my wife was kind of cried. She did cry when she went through, because that's gone, and it's going to be a parking lot now. Now, that's eventually going to be a science building. So I was told to ask if anybody in the room had $60 million laying around, they could have that building named after them. You're going to have to wait. Sorry, Jason. But that will be the plans for that site eventually. The Wheeler and Foothill site, the northeast corner, has been sold, and it's going to be developed into a fast food drive-through restaurant. With the style of life, everything seems to be going, we need a place for a drive-through. And so when that's built, it will have a drive-through. On housing, on the corner of Baseline and Emerald, the 19 homes, the Emerald Collection, is finally built. 19 homes, all sold. The street is Romick Circle. That was who built the home that was on that property. If there's a reference to another Romick in town, where the graduate was filmed, that church is Romick Chapel. And it was a large donation that got that name on it, but it's the same person. Pudding Stone on the south side of our community, you might be able to see that from probably along Arrow Highway. There's going to be 15 homes built in that area. There are four homes now under construction, and all those homes will have a view north to Mount Baldy and the mountains. There's a property on Amherst that is close to Williams that is owned by the city, and we are looking to sell that property to help generate some revenue. Yeah, I think most people in here are old enough to remember what an e-ticket was, right, at Disneyland? Well, we have an e-ticket in Laverne. when you used to drive up Wheeler, dead ending at Golden Hills, if you turn left and went down that windy road that connected with San Dimas Canyon Road, that was washed out several years ago. Well, now it's up and running, but it is a straight downhill shot. And Muir has ridden that on his bike, and I hope his brakes were good because he came back in one piece. But if you're riding a skateboard, I don't know. But it's an e-ticket, it's straight down, but it's good. You get to connect with, I know the residents up there appreciate it because it connects with San Dimas Canyon Road, getting out that way. Wheeler Avenue medians. We have completed the new pavement reconstruction from Arrow Highway up to Foothill. The Metropolitan Water took much longer than they were supposed to with the change in their from chemical to ozone treatment. But when they got it completed, they fixed their fence. We've redid Wheeler, repaved it, and it's wonderful, and we put some medians, and it's much more attractive. The lots downtown on each side of D Street have just been repaved. This week, it was the east side of D Street behind the businesses. Last week, it was on the other side, so all new paving in that. That's all part of those capital improvement projects that the CIP that I talked about, 10.9. Last is, in this area, is acquisition and conversion of our street lights to LED. These are lights that we're acquiring from Edison, and as soon as they are acquired, we are going to change them to LED lighting. It'll save us approximately $170,000 a year. So we're very excited about getting better lighting on our streets and save money at the same time. Also, as you go through Laverne, your cell phone doesn't always work in certain areas. We are contracting with a company that's going to put mini cell towers on a number of these, and we will have good service throughout the community. And still to come, we've had is a tax measure, potential tax measure in 2020. This is just sharing information, and we want our residents' input in this. And I just want to read a few things that we go over: current revenue and future projections, current expenses and the future expense projections. We are a service-driven community. There's no doubt about it. All our employees deliver our services. We don't contract out. They keep us safe. They answer emergency health and other calls. They deliver high-quality water. They make sure when a toilet is flushed that it actually goes someplace. They provide us with high-quality streets. They guide the planning and development and work with people like Gilead to see how can we help you. And they plan amazing activities. I'm always amazed through our community services that there are over 20,000, but 20,000 people that get helped in our programs through the community services, and most people don't even know it's there. So they're great activities. So please come, please learn. We want your input, and we would appreciate you being there. Last thing is our general plan update. Every 20 years, the state mandates that we update our general plan. Last time it was the year 2000. Can anybody tell me in 2000 what the main concern was in the city of Laverne? You drive it a lot. 210 freeway. But it's kind of there, but it's kind of not, right? So what is going to be our next big deal? And our next big deal is the Gold Line train and the development around it. So that is something that we are going to be looking forward to. But through the general plan, the active transportation, how this community is going to look, and we have probably about 30 people from the community and staff that are guiding this process, and we should have that completed later on this year. So it's an exciting document. It's mandated by our residents, what they see as residents for the next 20 years. I would like to thank also the Pomona Valley Hospital, people that, I know everybody at this table through my connections with the hospital, Rotary. Thank you very much, Roger. And others here, I look out and I see only friends. I know you, I care about you, and I appreciate the relationships that we have and will continue to have. So on behalf of me, thank you for being here.